Attachment is the basis of existence as a separate unit. For example, even the very earth can exist as a separate unit in the space because all its component parts are attached together. Even we can exist as separate units because all our parts are attached together. That shows attachment is the basis of existence. Enlightenment is the ending of existence. The existence does not end at the enlightenment, but at the final passing away from life. Till then, the body that has come to existence due to attachment of its component parts can exist for a limited period. After the final passing away of an enlightened one, there is no more birth. That is why during the time of the Buddha, all his disciples that got enlightened informed the Buddha the enlightenment, saying, Kina jati. Sir, I am not going to be reborn again. That means enlightenment means the ending of existence. Existence is based, as I mentioned earlier, on attachment. Not only the attachment of the component material parts of our body, but also based on our mental attachment, our desires. We are attached to objects of our senses because we want sensual enjoyment. We want to enjoy things, objects of senses. That is why we want to live. And that desire is referred to by the Buddha as tanha in its original form. The original word trishna in Sanskrit means thirst. But the Pali word tanha is used to denote the mental thirst. Thirst for happiness. Thirst for pleasures, sensual pleasures. The main purpose of living is to enjoy sensory objects. That is why we are attached to our existence, that is called living. That is why we fear death. All beings are attached to the life. Materially, their component parts, material parts are attached to their body. Mentally, they are attached to the objects of the world that they can enjoy through their sense organs. Therefore, in Pali, in the Buddhist language called Pali, all beings are called satta. The original meaning of the Pali word satta is attached. Asatta means detached. Enlightenment means the ending of attachment. Therefore, enlightenment is called tanhakaya, the thirst for happiness, the thirst for pleasures. comes to an end. It comes to an end through the realization of the real nature of the material world. The basic nature of the material world is referred to by the Buddha as anicchata, dukkhata, anattata. Everything material is dynamic. Every unit may be an atom, may be a subatomic particle, or even, according to string theories, energy springs. They are dynamic, means constantly active. We are living in an active. Active means living. We are living in a living universe, active universe, dynamic universe. Enlightenment means the ending of this dynamism. First mentally, and after, at the death, physically too, because no more body is born thereafter. No more rebirth. Kina jati. That is why it is said in Karanami Sutta, Najayatu Gabba Seyam Punretiti. After enlightenment, there is no more birth in a womb for the next birth. Birth we are attached to. We desire birth, we desire rebirth because we want to enjoy life. Enlightenment means realization, the true nature of life, as I mentioned earlier. Buddha referred to the triple nature of the life, of the existence, of the material world. Anicchata, dukkhata, anattata. Anicchata means dynamic, creative, change, living. Creativity leads to transmutation, changing. The changing of a form is called dukkhata, the original meaning. Anityata is the dynamism, creativity. The result of dynamism is dukkhata, the transformation of forms. Scientifically, anicchata means universal dynamism called energy. Dukkhata means the transformation of energy. Energy is not constant, not in the same form, constantly getting changed. Because of this constant change of energy, constant change of forms created by energy, nothing can retain a permanent identity. That impermanence is referred to Buddha as anicchata, and non-possibility of retaining a permanent identity due to that is called anattata, soullessness as translated into English. Once one realizes that everything is changing, nothing can be retained, that is understood not in a laboratory but within one's own mind. Because the entire world that we experience is not outside us. We think we are inside the world. No. The world is inside us, according to the Rohitasa Sutta, where the Buddha says, the entire world, Vyamacha Kalepere Sasanchammi Lokancha. Our entire world is within our body, which is about 6 feet. That means we can experience not the world outside, because we are experiencing the world outside through our sense organs. They don't have the capacity to understand the real nature. Our eye, our ear, our nose, our tongue, our skin, they are unable to understand the real nature of the world outside. We understand, we experience only the world created by the information given by these weak, imperfect sensory organs with their limited capacities. and that is a distorted world. And that world Buddha referred to as an illusion. It's not a reality. It is only a reflection created by our sense organs in our mind. Reflection is an image. Image is not an actual reality, though it looks real, even in a mirror. Similarly, all images in our mind are illusory, mental images. Once you realize that we are attached to our mental images, you get detached from that attachment. In the Nibbedika Sutta, Buddha said, Sankappa rago purusassa kamo. Attachment means attachment to mental images. We have an image of ourselves, image of our wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, mother, father, and we are attached to that image. Enlightenment means the cessation of attachment to illusory images of the mind. It referred to as enlightenment because in the darkness, metaphor referred to, the ignorance referred to metaphorically as darkness, covers the actual reality within us. The true nature of our world is empty of all those images. Images are our own creators. They are only mental creation. Enlightenment means emptying the mind of the illusory images. They are made by our own thoughts. Thoughts are called sankhara in Pali Buddhist language. That is why in his first paean of joy after enlightenment, Buddha says, Visankhara gatan citta. No more thinking, no more thought formation. The thought process has come to an end. That means no more creation of illusory mental images. And such a mind can see the actual reality, that is the emptiness of the mind, free from mental images. In Pali it is referred to as sunyata, meaning void, emptiness. It is empty of actual realities, though there are apparent realities of mental images. With that realization of the reality of the nature of our mind, both the attachment and resentment regarding mental images come to an end. That means with the disappearance of ignorance, attachment and resentment to disappear. Attachment is referred to as raga in Buddha's language, resentment as dosa, and ignorance as moha. Enlightenment means referred to as the cessation or extinction of attachment, resentment and ignorance. In Buddha's language, ragakkaya, dosakkaya, mohakkaya. Raga means attachment, dosa means resentment, moha means ignorance. Then an enlightened one is detached from all attachment. In discourse known as Dona Sutta that you get in the volume 2 of Buddha Jayanti Tripitaka, the Buddhist canon in Anguttara Nikaya, on page 76. A Brahmin who saw the Buddha's footprint, who was very learned with regard to the sign language, the body language, found this footprint is a marvelous footprint. I can't expect a human being to have such a footprint. Then he was following the footprint, and when he went to the Buddha sitting under a tree, he asked, "Are you a deity, Devo?" Buddha said no. Then, are you a celestial being? Gandhabbo. Buddha said no. Are you a devil? Yakko. Buddha said no. Are you a human being? Buddha said no. Then who are you? Then Buddha said, I am not a deity, a celestial being, a devil, or a human being, because I have no attachment to anything, not attached. Asatta. Satta means attached, asatta means non-attached. Not a being, not a center of gravity. The earth has a center of gravity for attachment. Everything is attached with the earth because of its gravity, the force of attachment. With that said, I'll overcome, gone beyond the universal force of gravity, the magnetic force, the force of attachment. Therefore, I am called a Buddha, and Buddha used a nice simile in that instance, comparing himself to a lotus. A lotus is born in the water, grows up in the water, brought up in the water, sustained by the water, but the lotus is blossom, living apart from the water. And Buddha said, similarly, I was born in this society. I was born and bred in this society. I was brought up by this society. I am being fed by this society, supported by this society. But I live detached from the society, above the society. It's a nice stanza that you get on the page 78 of that sutta, the discourse. Buddha say, Yata vaggu toyena nupalittiti. Like a lotus that is not touching the water, living apart from the water, untouched by the water, non-attached to water. Nupalittomi lokena. I am not attached with the society, the world. Though I was born, bred, supported by the society, I live apart from the society. Tasma buddhosmi. Therefore, I am called a Buddha, enlightened one. That means enlightenment is cessation of attachment. It ceases when the ignorance of the reality of things that we attach disappear. Therefore, enlightenment means realization of the ultimate truth. Not outside us, the truth inside us. The truth is there outside, but we can realize the truth within us because the entire outside is reflected. Entire universe is reflected in our own mind. And the entire universe, the world, entire world that we experience, as I mentioned earlier, nothing but our own mental creation, mental world. Once you realize the real nature of the mental world, you get detached from it. Without attachment, there is no resentment. We resent things to which we can be attached. Therefore, resentment is related to attachment. We attach to things we like, we resent things that we dislike. Likes are connected, relative to dislikes, because we dislike things that are in the way, that are not in the way that we like. That means likes give rise to dislikes. Likes lead to attachment. Non-attachment to things that you like is the basis of enlightenment. Likes, dislikes disappear with the disappearance of the ignorance of the things, the reality of things, as I mentioned earlier. And ultimately, that leads to detachment. When you are free of attachment, liking, dislike, and the resultant disliking, there is no thinking. Thinking ceases. We think of things that we like. We think of things that we dislike because we dislike things when they are not in the way we like. Therefore, as I mentioned earlier, our likes are related to, our dislikes are related to our likes. And both are related to our ignorance of things as they are. Seeing things as they are is referred to as yatha bhuta jnana daksana. Then the capacity to accept things as they are is called yatha labha santutti. That is the basis of enlightenment, which result in renunciation of things that you like or that we are attached to. Therefore, renunciation or the mother of enlightenment, the basis of enlightenment, while attachment, as I mentioned at the beginning, is the basis of our existence. We want to exist mainly for sensual enjoyments. Once you are not attached to sensual enjoyments, you get enlightened. Attachment, as I mentioned earlier in the Nibbedaka Sutta, Buddha said, we are attached, not we think that we are attached to things outside us. No. We are attached to the mental images of things in our own mind. Sankappa rago, purusatsa rago, the Buddha's words. When you understand the reality of sankappa are thought forms. The first disciple called Reverend Ascetic Kondanya, who realized the truth of the Buddha's maiden sermon, the first sermon called Dhammacakkappavattana, is reported to have realized. He realized the real nature of his own mind. Real nature, mind means the bundle of mental images. They are born to die. They are born to decay and die. Mental images are called Dhamma in Pali. Yang kincha samudaya dhammang sabbantang nirodha dhammati. All mental forms appear to disappear instantly. No mental form, no mental image can last long. They are ephemeral. They are born to decay and die. Once you realize, if they are instant, they are like sparks. They are made of the sparks of thoughts. They are called chittakkana in Pali. Chitta means thought, thinking. Akkana means sparks, like lightning, slight lightning. Lightning, it blossoms to fade. Lightning appears to disappear instantly. Similarly, our thoughts are instant. Thought forms are instant because they are made of instant sparks. Once you realize we are attached to thoughts but there is no permanency in our thought forms. Our attachment disappears. And without attachment, there is no detachment. Disappearance of both attachment and detachment regarding mental images means the disappearance of our ignorance. That is enlightenment. Referred in Buddha's language as ragakaya, dosakaya, mohakaya. Ragakaya, extinction of attachment. Dosakaya, extinction of resentment. Mohakaya, extinction of the ignorance of the reality of things that we experience. Therefore, the detached state of mind, the mind that renounces every worldly phenomenon, is called an enlightened mind. Enlightenment means the complete renunciation of all attachment, detachment from all attachment. After that, you are not a being. Being, I refer to the Pali term is Buddha satta. Satta means those who are attached to things. And those are formed by attachment of component parts into a unit, separate unit. Ultimately, we realize that we are not separate units. They are ephemeral. They are born to decay and die. We are part and parcel of the entire universe. And the universe is in time and space. Time is endless, space is endless, and we come to a state free from the limitation of time and space. Therefore, the enlightenment state of mind is called ananta. Beyond space, beyond limitations of space. Akaliko, beyond the limitation of time. That is eternity. We get dissolved in the emptiness of the space and time, and space and time vanishes in that state as it happens in a black hole. Scientists say there is no space and time in a black hole because there is nothing material. Everything disappears within a black hole. Then there is no time, no space. Time is related to space, traveling through space. They are interrelated. Both time and space disappear in nirvana. That is why it is called the ultimate voidness or emptiness. That is within us, the basis of our mind, free from all attachment to which it is attached. And it happens gradually, attachment disappearing one by one. And ultimately, we can get enlightened by the realization of the real nature of our own mind.